Justice is always a major area of concern of the political science researchers. John Rawls, in his theory of justice, produces a major theory of procedural justice and procedural understanding of the justice. Rawls, in his theory of justice, produces a procedural format of justice on the basis of the meticulous following of rules. And at that time, the meticulous following of rules as a major conception of justice was attacked by a major criticism of, while we follow the meticulous following of rules, unjust situations might be created. And in order to avoid the unjust situation created by the justice, Rawls propounds a major format of justice in such a way that in order to justify the departure from equality, there must be a social departure from the equality in such a way that equality is justified under the terms of protective discrimination, in such how that if we arrange certain inequalities on the basis of benefiting least advantaged people on the merit of great benefits, and in such how the distribution of equality is justified. Rawls finds the position of his theory on the individual abstracted from social, environmental, economic and cultural backgrounds of a person lives. So a person is under the veil of ignorance. That term is of very importance, that a person is under veil of ignorance. For example, a Dalit person or a Dalit community is being unaware of the way they are being exploited, or the way society is looting their resources and the society is hijacking their rights. And in that stage, the people or every members related to that community who are under the veil of ignorance should have to come out of this veil of ignorance. And when they come out of the veil of ignorance, they reach an original position. And in that original position, the second important aim is, after veil of ignorance, is the original position. And in that original position, the people have, those people who reach the original position have an elementary position of a basic knowledge of their psychological aspects, their social aspects, their economical backgrounds. And when the people comes out of the veil of ignorance and reaches the original position, they have a sense of justice. And in that sense of justice stage, people are self-interested but not egoistic. People try to maximize their living goods, people try to maximize their self-respect, people try to maximize their own commitments and their own skills, and they are being devoid of any egoistic tendency. Then Rawls produces the following two principles of justice, which are very important. The first one is, each person is to have an equal right to the most extensive liberty compatible with the similar liberty of others. The second one, social and economic inequalities are to be arranged so that they are both. The second principle have two subdivisions. The second main the principle of justice is that social and economic inequalities are to be arranged so that they are both. The first subdivision is to the greatest benefit of the least advantaged, and the next one is they are to be attached to the offices and positions so that they achieve the fair equality and opportunity. Here the question of why these social and economic inequalities are to be arranged is justified and addressed. The social and economic inequalities are to be arranged in order to save the people from the extinction and the looting of their rights, or the marginalized people from their extinction from the major part of the society, so that this departure from the inequality is rationalized, or this departure from the equality is substantiated on the benefit of the people who are being marginalized. Adding to this, the communitarian critique of the John Rawls' theory of justice is of very importance. The communitarians attack the abstracted individual idea of the John Rawls. Communitarian says that we cannot extract or we cannot make an abstract individual from the existing society. Communitarians says that every individual is, we cannot make a departure from the individual, society and himself. Every individual or every thoughts and every ideas that a man and a woman or any transgender people have, we are connecting to the present situation, that every individual in the society and the thoughts and emotions they possess are also a part of the community they are living. So they attack the first premise that Rawls says that an abstracted individual can be created among from the cluster of the veil of ignorance. And communitarian says that an abstract individual from the existing society or the society that he is living, we cannot make such an abstracted individual. The first critic is that. And the second position of the communitarian critic against John Rawls is that Rawls says that by breaking the veil of ignorance, a person reaches the original position and he may be able to have the sense of justice. And communitarian says that in that original position, if it is so, the notion of good drives out the human intuitions and drives out the human emotions and thoughts, etc. So what is the notion of good? According to John Rawls, the notion of good is individual rationality and individual determinism. And by attacking the notion of good conceived by the individual determinism and the rationality, communitarians says that the notion of good for every individual and for every member of a community, the notion of good belongs to that community itself. So the communitarian says that we cannot make an abstracted individual, we cannot make any justification on the notion of good under certain rationality principles, certain determinations. The people cannot come out from a society fully in a fully substantiated method. So that was the communitarian critic against the John Rawls' discussion of the theory of justice. So we have made a brief discussion on John Rawls' theory of justice. There are 3 points in it. Social and economic inequalities are to be arranged. Then the people should come out of the veil of ignorance and reach an original position which have a sense of justice, and the communitarian critic on the original position and at the same time on the sense of justice which is guided by the community aspect. Thank you.
If you are new to my channel, please do like, share and subscribe. Stay connected with us. Stay safe, study safe. Thank you.